I'm asked often about karma. I use the term probably somewhat often. I have a mixed background on it. I have both education and informal contact. I actually spent a lot of time in Asian philosophy as a young man. I managed to travel to Asia 3 or 4 times in my life. I'm very connected to the term. It kind of has a little bit of a new age flavor here in America, but not to go too far down that rabbit hole. It's just that there's a lot of meaning to me as to what it means. So I think it's important for you to know that in essence, there's a deep end of the pool. And the deep end always trumps and overshadows anything that's happening in the shallow end. And I don't want you to take the shallow end as pejorative. It's not shallow because it's uh, shallow in the sense of, ooh, that person is shallow. It's shallow in the sense that, you can splash there and you wail there and you can play there and you hide there and you preen in front of other people in the shallow end. And I'll have a closing comment on that in a short moment too. Yet it's really important to know that in this leadership work that I do or that you're connected to while you're here, because I tend to attract leaders, to go into that shallow end, to guide, to lead, to inspire, to get someone to go into the deep end, that's what we do. That's what we do for ourselves. So to know more about the deep end, to be able to take someone's hand and heart and soul and guide them there, sometimes it's helpful to know, why is the deep scary for people? And again, there's a metaphor here, but there's a reality here too. For the most part, it's very quiet. It's very calm when you're in the deep end, and that can actually overwhelm you because the chaos and the splashing and the busyness of the shallow end kind of it blots out the deep fears that you have in the deep end. So when you actually get in deep water, it's easier actually. There's less traffic. There's no confusion. It's calming. It's just a wonderful place, but it's almost like ooh that depth is almost overwhelming versus people who just want the nervous system overload. You can see your greatness in the deep end very differently. Marianne Williamson's quote that it's not our darkness that we fear, it's our light. It's what we fear our light even more. Um, because the light can be overwhelming to us. Are we really this awesome person? Are we really capable of these extraordinary things? In the shallow end, you're just swimming and splashing and playing as hard as you can. Again, anybody on this call is an overachiever. I know that. So you're playing hard. To experience your light is for what it is to have someone see you at your deepest levels, to live there, to think there, to feel there, to focus on. And last, now your request to the system, the law of attraction, if you will, in my system. You got to do it from this deep platform, this matrix. You know, how much do you think it will resemble your current life? Is that a small, medium, or large? And for the most part, I think people want or expect that I'm gonna want you to say small. Yeah, I understand that it's actually large because there's more of you in the depths than you know. Your friends, your loved ones tend to see you more clearly than you see yourself because you are your harshest critic. You have an overdeveloped prosecutor who's always after you and your defense attorney is weak. So to go into the deep end and live and request and interact from this level, it appears to change a lot, but it doesn't. Again, it's the beauty of the deep end. So, if that's what we fear, well, why don't more people head and spend to get past that? Well, first of all, the most important thing about any of this work, about being a leader in general, it can be very lonely at times. You're not the norm. You're not the 90%. You're not a lemming. You're not a chicken with all the other chickens. You're an eagle. You're something different. So sometimes your spouse, your boss, colleagues, they don't want to go there with you, or maybe they go there at different times. Obviously, for you to be in a relationship and married to someone, or in a deep relationship, they know this depth to you, and you go there from time to time. It's just how much time do you go there? How much time do you spend there in the deep end, in the karma of life? You know, why not spend more time? Because you have to change now. And you're like not ready for that kind of change. You will be. Oh, I'll change. I'm going to change. I'll change next week, next month. Well, I got to get through this project. I got to get through this phase. I got to get my kids are almost here, and then they're going to be there. And you come up with the, why you're not ready. You will be. You haven't given up on yourself. You just not now, not today. I can't be that deep end person today. And the last thing, failing in the shallow end is one thing. Failing in the deep end, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. There's a lot attached, both positive and negative. Now, most people, if you understand what I'm talking about, if you spend any time in the deep end, you're going to attach to the positive of this. If you're viewing this as a criticism, or you're sitting there kind of looking at your whole card and going, well, gosh, I'm not as deep as I want. This sentence inspires a negative reaction as to what the kettle of fish is. But for today, for what we do here on this Monday call, and why you are in a coaching system with me, uh, it's to ask, and ask some more, and be happy and find excitement about the shallow end. I said earlier, I'd close with this. I'm not judging or criticizing it. It's fun. It's enjoyable as anything. And really, when you think about it, again, and now we're back to the deep term of karma. You incarnated, you came here to this life, and the fact that, did you choose it? Do you think? Well, that's a whole nother Monday. We can, if somebody wants to play off on any of this, we can go deeper. But you chose this life. The shallow end is as fun right now, as exciting. We're not farmers hard scrabbling. We're not trappers, fighting our way to settle lands. We're not in any other time in our history. It is as fun, as electrifying, as exciting. You just need to know that this is about consciousness, and these questions that you get to ask, that you think about, that you listen to, that you come or you don't, the answers you agree some or not at all. It always comes back to consciousness.